Relationships are really hard, and nobody goes into a relationship hoping that it'll fail. I'm here with Reggie Madison. He is the program director at First Things First, and he recently wrote a blog about the 10 signs that your relationship is less likely to fail. Now, if you read the blog, there's actually one big signifier that'll tell you if your relationship will succeed or not. Reggie, can you explain the new research that just came out and what that one thing is?
Yes, it's interesting. What should excite people is the researchers led by Samantha Joel and Paul Eastwick looked at over 11,000 couples.
Whew.
And right, that's a good size number, and looked at just different qualities to determine or predict, relationship success, and obviously consequently relate potential for relationship failure. And though they came with, kind of a top 10 out of this, what was really interesting is how big a role perception played and how you perceive your partner is committed to the relationship.
Interesting. So it's your viewpoint, kind of.
Yes. And here's why that's such a, I think, a comforting thing for some people that are going into relationships. There's this myth and this panic and this anxiety about picking the perfect person, the right person, the one person on this earth that is made for me, right? Like and so, but what this says is that how I understand my partner's level of commitment to the relationship, how I see that, if I feel like I'm putting my all and they're not really committed to the relationship, then the relationship is less likely to succeed. Another way is if I feel like they're not satisfied, that, it's kind of how we perceive partner satisfaction.
Yeah.
Then if that satisfaction level or how I perceive that satisfaction level to be can influence whether this relationship will succeed or not.
Man. So it's all about your mindset of the relationship, not even like the actions of you or your partner?
Yes, a lot of it is. I think what's helpful about that is those are things we can talk about.
Yeah.
Lots of times, look, we know that communication is the biggest issue, the thing that couples say is the biggest hindrance to them having good marriages and good relationships.
Always has been and always will be.
And so when you think about it, if we're not communicating about these things, then I'm allowing my brain to fill in the story. Because I don't know what the other person thinks. I don't know how they feel. And so I determine how they feel.
Yeah.
Which is me forming a perception. And so instead of me getting or creating that perception, we can talk and we can eliminate sometimes unspoken expectations. And by eliminating those unspoken expectations, we can have a real understanding of what is our level of commitment. What are we committed to? Sometimes that commitment level just looks different.
Yeah.
And I don't know it because we haven't really talked about it.
This could really impact a lot of relationships.
Yes. One of the other factors talked about appreciation and how I perceive they appreciate me.
Yeah.
Well, let's think about that. If I really need to hear words to know that I'm appreciated, and the person, my partner, doesn't give me words, they buy me gifts.
Yep.
We think about 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, for instance.
Right.
Then I can feel taken for granted because you never say, I'm proud of you, or thank you, or I love you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Instead, I feel like this doesn't have the kind of gratitude and appreciation in this relationship, and that could be a perception thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, instead of that, once again, if we can talk, if we can communicate, if we can not let perception be reality, but actually uncover what the reality is, then we're increasing the chances that our relationships will be successful.
That's so cool. So let me make sure I'm hearing you right. To sum it up, it's all about your perception of your relationship. And you can uncover the truth and the reality of that perception through communication.
Yes, yes. And then that one last thought is that helps you to train your brain to really think what is actually true about the other person, about the marriage, or about the committed relationship, and really even about yourself.
Yeah, that's amazing. That could be so helpful for so many couples, mine included, my relationship included. And I hope that anyone listening, this has been helpful for you. And if you're interested, you can read the rest of Reggie's blog with the other signs that your relationship is less likely to fail in the description of this video below. We hope this has been helpful. Thanks for tagging along.